that one has to come to this understanding of this bhakti. Sometimes people take it very lightly. Oh, bhakti means let me go to the temple, do some puja, okay, do some archana, or spend some money, spend there some time. Okay, then pray to the Lord that, okay, I have this demands, I have this things, I have these problems. Okay, so we go to the temple and do something so that Lord will be pleased and so that all my problems are resolved. And then I can engage in anything, any way I like and I want it, so that I can enjoy this world. This is not bhakti. This is just give and take. It's a business which we are doing with the Supreme Lord. So then this, what we are putting together, we are putting ourselves in the center. So instead of Krishna, but we put ourselves. So we think that Krishna is our order taker. Krishna is to fulfill all our desires. Lord is there for me. This is our attitude and this is our behavior. Lord is for me. Oh, we are, Lord is our father. So it's many people say that. Lord is our father. So it is Lord's duty that to take care of us. It's not our duty to take care of the Lord. So this is the attitude of the common people. So they think that the Lord is there for me only. And so that anything I ask for it, anything I demand for it, anything I order for it, Lord should do it immediately. And if Lord doesn't do it, I hate him. Lord doesn't do it, I won't worship him. Lord doesn't do it, I will not do anything for him. So this is the general people's attitude. This is not bhakti, this give and take. This is just a business. So Narasimhadev appeared before Prahlad Maharaj. After Narasimhadev was so pleased with Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj doesn't want anything from the Lord. All Prahlad Maharaj wanted that the opportunity to always meditate upon the Supreme Lord. That was the prayer of the Prahlad Maharaj. Lord was so pleased, even though Prahlad Maharaj was just 5 years old. By this time, Prahlad Maharaj completely understood what is bhakti, completely understood bhakti, what is devotion, and developed that loving devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead just by remembering that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just by remembering the greatness of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord provides everything to us. Nothing that which Lord doesn't provide to the each and every living entity in this world. Everything Lord provides. Nothing that we cannot say that Lord is not giving. Everything Lord is still that we are ungrateful. We are asking more and more and more. But Prahlad Maharaj was not like that. Prahlad Maharaj was even just within 5 years old, understood the transcendental science and completely dedicated his whole consciousness, all his words and all his activities are all dedicated to Krishna. And Lord is so pleased with it. And then we know that Hiranyakashipu was so much in enmity and envious of Prahlad Maharaj and was about to and tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj for many attempts and tried many attempts, but all failed. It was all futile. Then finally, with cannot tolerate anymore, Supreme Lord appeared before and killed Hiranyakashipu, and then came before Prahlad Maharaj and told Prahlad Maharaj, "Oh Prahlad, I'm very pleased with you. You can ask me a boon that, you can ask me a boon from me. I'm very pleased with you." So then Prahlad Maharaj said that, "Oh Lord, this is not a business. I worship, I remember, and I engage in the devotional service not to take anything from you. That is just an ordinary business deal. That's not bhakti, that's not love. So please don't ask me any boon I need. I don't need anything. I all need your unconditional love. That's all I need, oh Lord." So then Narasimhadev said, Narasimhadev is very much pleased with that words. Narasimha said, "No, Prahlad, I'm very pleased with you. This is from my heart I am giving. It's not that which you did something, those I am giving. No, this is because me that I am pleased with you." Then Prahlad Maharaj said that if that is so, then please, my father, he was a demon. He He was so sinful. He was against you. He was persecuting all the devotees of you. And oh Lord, please, if you are willing, and please liberate my father. So Narasimhadev said, not only you, not only Hiranyakashipu liberated, O Prahlad, 21 generations of Hiranyakashipu is already been liberated because of you. This is what it is. The devotees, this is called bhakti. Because of that one devotee that has developed that bhakti, the entire generations, 21 generations of Hiranyakashipu is already been liberated from these clutches of this material suffering. So bhakti means not give and take. Bhakti means unconditional. What is Ambarish Maharaj said? Bhakti. Bhakti means savai pumsha paru dharma edor bhakti radokshaje ahetuhi apradihada edatma suprasidadi. Ahetuhi apradihada. Savai pumsha paru dharma. This is the eternal duty of each and every living entity. Paradharma, supreme dharma, to develop loving devotional service unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, because we are all part and parcel of Supreme Lord. We are the part. We are the, in the constitution. We are belongs to that superior nature. It's our duty to serve that Supreme, like a hand, a part of the body serves the whole body. The part cannot say that, okay, I'm going away from my body and let me enjoy myself. So we know that what would happen to that part of that body. Like just for an example, hands say that today, I'm going to separate from my body. We know that what would happen, that part, that hand separate from the body, after some hours, the hand does not work anymore. So similarly, a leaf is tied to the tree, attached to the tree, and then as long as it's with the tree, it gets all the nourishments and it can stay part of that tree. But the moment it's fall down, it dries up. It's not anymore. So bhakti is the paradharma of each and every living entity. That when, as long as we are belongs to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, dear devotees, everything is nourished, and all that's what is our eternal nature. That is what it is compatible situations. And as long as we are belongs to that our superior nature or the spiritual nature, we are in a very compatible situation. Otherwise, we are incompatible. That's why we are suffering in this world. So bhakti means to be with that Supreme Lord, that's eternal nature. So here in this verse, Rupa Goswami says that one's devotional service is spoiled. Bhakti is spoiled. So it is after many, many, many lifetimes that one comes to that point. You know that Supreme Lord Sri Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamande Jnanavan Mam Prabhathyante Vasudevam Sarvamadi Samahatma Sudurlabha. Bahunam Janmanamande. Many, many thousands of lifetimes after one comes to this position of this bhakti. And it's very rare to achieve. Krishna says also in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit edadi siddhaye edadi abhisiddhanam kaschit mameti sattvattvadaha. What is that? Manushyanam sahasreshu, out of thousands of people, one hardly knows me. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit edadi siddhaye edadi abhisiddhanam, and out of that thousands of people, one who knows me, hardly once knows me in truth. So what is that? Hardly once knows me in truth. That one knows me in truth means one who engages in the loving devotional service to the Supreme. That he realized that Supreme Lord, he knows that the truth, that the Supreme Lord is everything. So this is what is bhakti means. One who comes to this platform of bhakti means that one who understands and realizes that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So here it is, Rupa Goswami mentioned that one can spoil that bhakti. One can spoil that bhakti if one engages in these 6, mischievous activities or ignorant activities. So I mentioned ignorant activities because of this all occurs because of the ignorance. When it's a person in the knowledgeable state, that's why Bahunam Janmanam and Jnanavan, one who knows this eternal truth, eternal science, then he would be free from all these contaminated activities. so that he can always situate into the pure devotional platform, that loving devotional service. So here we can see that the six, bhakti, Shraddhi Bhakti Vinashyari, that means one can spoil this bhakti by engaging in these six activities. The first activity is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Atyahara or Adhyahara. Ahara means one who takes, one who intakes ahar. Atyahara means overeating, over endeavoring. So overeating, right? Overeating that. Whatever intakes, that's is over. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, it's very good that we understand this. Human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. Since all conditional living beings are under the control of the Lord's third energy, this material world is designed so that one is obliged to work. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has three primary energies or potencies. The first is called Antaranga Shakti or internal potency, we call it as. The second is called Tadastha Shakti or marginal potency, the living entities. The third is called Bahiranga Shakti or the external potency, the material world. The living entities constitute the marginal potency and they are situated between the internal and external potencies. That's why it's known as Tadastha Shakti, like something Tada. Tada means on the bank, like ocean, right? We go that the banks of the ocean, the shore of the ocean, which is called Tada. Tada means it is not even on the land exactly, but it's not even in the water, but it's in between. So like that, the marginal potencies are in between, right? Internal and external. So it's very clear and it's very true that marginal potency, jiva, always, not always, that, when it's there, and it's actually the nature of the jiva is always situated in between the internal and external potency of the Lord, or the Antaranga Shakti or Bahiranga Shakti. So between the external, being subordinate as internal servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Jivatmas or atomic living entities must remain under the control of either the internal or external potency. Like as we say that, right? When a fish comes into the shore, what happens? It struggles for its life. So that means the actual nature, actual plane for the fish is the water, ocean water, right? The water. So then the fish is back to the water, is very happy. So similarly, we are originally part of this internal potency or Antaranga Shakti of the Lord, but we are on the Tada. So we have a choice that we can select, either goes with the Lord or with our original home, that internal potency of the Lord, Antaranga Shakti, or we can select to go to the Bahiranga Shakti or this external potency or this material world. So the moment we go back to our internal potency, that's our original nature, then we are very happy and we are in a sublime position. But the moment we decide, okay, let me go to the land, like a fish thing that let me go to the land, as soon as the water goes away, the fish on the land struggle for life and dies. So that's exactly the same way it happens to the jiva. They come to this material world, goes away from the Lord, from our original nature, from the eternal potency. We comes to this material world and then we struggle and suffer. And then what happens? We die. That's why mrityu comes to the living entities. Mrityu, that's why human is known as martya, because we are subjected to die in this material world. So when they are under the control of the internal potency, they display their natural constitutional activity, namely constant engagement in devotional service of the Lord. See, that is our original natural situation. When one engages into the loving devotional service of the Lord, that is our natural condition, dear devotees, right? That is what is Dharmastu Sakshal Bhagavat Pranida. Dharma, the eternal. Dharma means also we need to understand what is the Dharma. Dharma means our eternal nature. So Srila Prabhupada gives, like just for an example, water has its liquidity, right? Sugar has a taste of sugar or sweetness. Or like that, a fire has the nature of light and heat. That is fire. So that's water, is liquidity, it flows. Similarly, is salt and sugar, that's it's called salt or it's a sugar because it has sweetness or it has salty, right? So like that, every living entity has this nature. What is that nature? dharma. What is the dharma? To Satral Bhagavat Pranidam, to execute loving devotional service unto that Supreme. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. That's the eternal dharma, eternal form, nature of that every living entity. Then what happens? We forget that. We come to the material world. We forget everything because of our ignorance. Then we struggle and suffer in this material world. So Srila Prabhupada very clearly says that. So Srila Prabhupada says, Mahatmanamstu Mam Bhartam Devim Prakriti Masudava. See that? When one who understands this importance of the eternal nature and his constitutional position engages into the loving devotional service of the Lord, that is the original nature of the living entity. Such devotees are known as Mahatma. Mahatmanamstu Mam Bhartam Devim Prakriti Masudava. See that? Devim Prakriti, that's what is internal potency of the Lord. Devim Prakriti means internal potency. And such people, those who are engaging in loving devotional service, is known as the Mahatmas. There are, we can say that there is eternally liberated devotees and eternally conditioned people. That's what is Nitya Siddhas or Nitya Baddhas. So Mahatmas are actually in the verge of becoming Nitya Siddhas. They are in the verge of liberation and eternally goes back to Krishna. As Krishna says that one who reaches my abode will never comes back into this material world again. Abrahma bhuvaner loge punaravartino Arjuna mama vedadu kaundeya punarjanmana vidyade. One who reaches my abode will never return back into this material world. It says, Natad bhasayedo suryana shashangana pavagaha idigatva nanivartande tadama paramama. One who reaches my abode will never return back into this material world. Janma karma jame divyam evam yovedi tattvadaha tektva deham punarjanma naidima vedi so Arjuna. Krishna is telling in many, many places that one who reaches me will never return back into this material world. So dear devotees, this is our constitutional position. We have to come out from this frog in a well, that we have to see that beyond these material conditions of life, this material nature, there is another nature which is called spiritual nature. That Sri Krishna also says in the 8th chapter. Apareyam idastwanyam prakrtim vidime param jiva bodha mahabhago dhare eda dhare jagat. Apareyam idastwanyam prakrtim vidime param. Apareyam, from this inferior nature of this material world, there is a superior nature. Apareyam idastwanyam prakrtim vidime param. Param, beyond this material, there is a param. There is a superior nature. That's what is here. That superior nature is known as Devim Prakriti. Superior nature, the Lord's potency, the internal potency. So dear devotees, then one can have that, one can be part of and belongs to that superior nature when one engages completely in the service of the Lord. And they are known as Mahatmas, great personalities. They are not Duratmas. The opposite of Mahatma is Duratma. Duratma is actually miserly. Kripana, they're engaging to satisfy their own senses in every moment of their life. Every endeavor of their life, if they talk to someone, they think that, how can I win over him? They do something, they think that, okay, how can I get some benefits out of it? If they do anything for anybody, they're always looking for that, what benefit I can get from this world, or I can get it from this anybody. They are miserly. They're looking for always to satisfy their own senses. And they engage always into the sense enjoyment and material sensual happiness. And then they endeavor for all these things. They endeavor very, very constantly, that endeavor for, how can I happy? How can I satisfy my tongue? How can I satisfy my senses? How can I satisfy my belly? How can I satisfy my genitals? How can I satisfy my body? Mind, senses, always thinking of this. How can I derive this joy, this material happiness? And as we mentioned, that material happiness is just arise from the sense perception, which is not permanent, which is temporary, which arises from the sense perceptions. As long as we execute our senses for certain long, all this material happiness is looking more and more. But the moment we don't get that happiness, then what happens? It become misery. And it become anger, it become so many other problems which creates in the body. So this is the nature of this material nature, flickering happiness, chapala, dualities, happiness, distress, heat, cold, death, birth. This is the nature of this material world. It's called duality. See the Atava, there is cold, there is heat, there is night and the darkness, happiness, misery, distress and suffering and joy, and all these are there. The combination of that's what is material world is constituted. So we are in the mid of all this. That's why it is known as Bhavasagara. Bhavasagara means ocean of misery. And one goes to that as much as he goes for the happiness, the same equal amount he has to go for suffering as well. So nothing is here, it is free that we can get something. We have to put so much of endeavor to gain anything. The similar amount of that, one has to go for suffering as well. This is the nature. Every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. There is no free from that. So Krishna, Srila Prabhupada caught this beautiful verse, Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Nyatva Bhutadi Mavyayam. That means Mahatma, one who is engaged in the loving devotional service, they will always Bhajanti Ananya Manasa, without duplicity, without any other mind, that they always engage in the loving devotional service. Nyatva Bhutadi Mavyayam, that they are in that transcendental knowledge, they beyond that their bhutva, their material conceptions of life. So that such devotees are known as the Mahatmas. Mahatmanam tu Mampa. So here it is mentioned that, O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So dear devotees, this is what is bhakti means. When bhakti, one who execute the bhakti, one has to come and Lord is actually make sure that they are under the protection of that. This is then what we get. The lords are actually protecting the bhakti. So then, every day we pray to the Narasimhadev. What is the Narasimhadev? Why we are praying to the Lord Narasimhadev? We pray to that Narasimhadev. Bhakti Vikna Vinashana Sri Narasimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. So if there is any Vikna for the bhakti, that's why our prayer should be every day to the Lord Narasimhadev. Bhakti Vikna Vinashana Sri Narasimhadev Bhagavan. Bhakti Vikna. That means if there is any tinge of that, anything that which comes to the path of this bhakti, we pray to the Lord Narasimhadev, please remove that obstacles. You are the Vinash, we are the remover of all the obstacles in the path of bhakti. Why we are praying? Because we are living in this material world. So by gradual process of this bhakti, the devotion by the mercy of the Lord, then Lord will take care. Who is protecting? Narasimhadev will protect that bhakti, that what we have we develop bhakti, that love that we develop for Krishna. Otherwise, what happens? Some point of time, if that is not there, the mercy of the Lord is not there, then it can completely go away from us. That's why this verse, Rupa Goswami emphasizing so much on the bhakti, that one should not spoil his bhakti, that what he developed. So one should develop and cultivate this bhakti by avoiding the 6 kinds of anarthas, right? 6 kinds of problems that we can create to spoil our bhakti. So then, Srila Prabhupada says that the word Mahatma refers to those who are broad-minded, not crippled-minded. Crippled-minded in Sanskrit word called Kripana. Kripana means there is a word called Brahmana, is called the great-minded or the Brahmana, one who knows the Supreme Lord. They're always situated into the Krishna consciousness. But the opposite of Brahmana is known as Kripana. Kripana means crippled-minded. Always self and self-centric, self-centered, and always loaded over materialization. Anything that they come across, they always think and put themselves in the center of everything. And I am so and so, I am that, I am this, I am great. Everybody should, pay obeisances. All this, the puja, pradishta, the fame, name, and the putting everything for the self-satisfaction, so that they derive some joy out of it. So they are all known as Kripana or miserly. This is a weakness. This is the weakness of each and everybody, that if you put themselves and post themselves on so and so great, and then trying to derive some kinds of happiness from this world. And that's why they are known as Kripana or miserly, because of their heart is very weak. Hridaya Daurbalyam. It is known as their heart is very weak. They are Hridaya Daurbalyam. So that's why that they cannot progress in that. Because of their Hridaya Daurbalyam, they completely engages into the various activities. So it's very important that we understand this transcendental truth and the science. So Srila Prabhupada says that triple-minded persons always engage in satisfying their senses, as I mentioned. Sometimes expand their activities in order to do good for others through some isms like nationalism, humanitarianism, or altruism. They may reject personal sense gratification for the sense gratification of others, like the members of the family, community, or society, either national or international. Actually, all this is extended sense gratification from personal to communal to social. So we can think about ourselves. So many people are so much putting their time and efforts for all these various kinds of this extended sense gratification only. They could do some, okay, they built some hospitals, and what they do? And they say, this is Hinduja, this is this so and so person donated. These are the memories of so and so person. And it is mentioned that in the scriptures, if we give a charity using with our right hand, left hand even should not know that we are doing some charity like this. So if you do something like that and say and announce and pronounce this word loudly, okay, this so and so person did so many things. This is all sensual things, so that I get some happiness. So I'm so and so great. I'm so charitable person. So if we can think about we can review ourselves, and then where are we now with whether we are trying to satisfy our own senses in so many ways, or we are trying to satisfy the Krishna senses. When we put Krishna senses, nothing matters for us. When we are put Krishna in the center of our life, we are serving Krishna with love and devotion. Nothing else is matter. All it matters is actually that whether I am able to please Krishna or not. And if not, then if we are trying to satisfy ourselves, put ourselves in the center, we are trying to satisfy, that is not bhakti. That's actually self-satisfaction, self-sense, self-gratification, right? So it's very important to understand these details, dear devotees, so that we can always situate into the pure devotional platform. So Srila Prabhupada says this may be all very good from the material point of view, but such activities have no spiritual value. No spiritual value. And the basis of such activity is sense gratification, either personal or extended. Only when person gratifies the senses of the Supreme Lord can be called Mahatma. See, that when Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is in the front, in the center of every other activities of the living entity, the human especially, they are known as Mahatma. We know that Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada put aside everything. When the time comes, raise the family and everything, but when time comes, then left everything. Srila Prabhupada was doing a very nice business of this medical store, medical businesses. Then Lord's arrangement, everything, and then completely joined with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. And with minimum, that bare actually that even a very small room there in Vrindavan, Dada Damodar temple with one cot and then little lamp and prasadam which gets from the Srila Prabhupada, gets from the Dada Damodar temple, but engages into the pure loving devotional service, not thinking anything else, not being the social and communal and the society activities to please everybody. No, writing books and propagating this Krishna consciousness to the world and telling that this is the ultimate truth and the trans-science. All the 6 Goswamis, they don't even sleep or sleep in a tree on the same day. They keep changing in one tree to another in order to avoid this kinds of attachment, even a little bit tinge of that attachment. When Madhavendra Puri was, then on the final stage of before Samadhi, Madhavendra Puri was completely absorbed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there is a god ruler called Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri came and just even heard that the word just chanted like this, Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atma, Brahma Bhuta. Then Madhavendra Puri was just hearing this Brahma. Madhavendra Puri even does not want to hear the word of Brahma. But Ramachandra Puri just started to recite Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atma. You know what Madhavendra Puri mentions? All my life is spoiled. I was completely pure and completely dedicated minds to the Supreme Lord, that Sri Krishna, the form, the everything. I just came and said, Brahma, Brahma, Brahman. So, dear devotees, this is the devotion one should have. One should develop this kind of devotion to the Supreme Lord. Ananyaschindriyantava. Ananya, there is no separate thoughts of nothing other than Krishna. So that's what it is. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning who is Mahatma. So in the above quoted words from Bhagavad Gita, the words Devim Prakriti refers to the control of the internal potency or pleasure potency of the Supreme Godhead. That pleasure potency is manifested as Srimati Radharani or her expansion, Lakshmi, or the goddess of fortune. The devotees, that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to us. So Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna, when we mature, when we come to that chanting of the holy name, and we pronounce this Hare, Hare is nothing but addressing to that internal potency of the Lord. That means we are addressing to Srimati Radharani. So this potency, this Devim Prakrtim, or that potency is not a pressure potency or the internal potency, that's nothing but the Srimati Radharani, that we are praying to Srimati Radharani, that please engage me in your service. So when one comes to that mature state of praying to the Supreme Lord, not only the Supreme Lord, especially Srimati Radharani, praying that please engage me with the Supreme Lord. So only one who is into that situation, that pure platform on the transcendental plane, their devotees can engage the service of the Supreme Lord. So it's very important that. So then only one gets that service. Then only one can engage in that pure devotional service. Otherwise, what happens when we engage so much into this atyahara, prayasascha, prajalpa, niyamagraha, Jana Sangascha, Laulyamcha, all this we put, everything else we do, but not the pure devotion. Then what happens? Our bhakti, our engagement in the devotional service will slowly diminish. That's why many people, when they are over endeavor, they come and do so many things, and the moment that they are not expecting many things in their, when they do something, the moment that they think that, okay, I'm not getting what I am looking for, then they go away. They are not now anymore doing the engagement or loving devotion. So we have, so many people. So the moment they think that I'm not getting what I am looking for, any places, they go away. And they say that, oh, I'm so and so and so. But what happens? The engagement, we pray to the Srimati Radharani, please engage me in the service of the Lord. But what happened? Eventually that faded away because of then that bhakti, the pure devotion is not there. So what happened instead? They go for all this atyahara, prajalpa, niyamagraha, all this, and they go for it. And then what happens? Slowly their devotion fades away from them, right? So that's what is happening in this world. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that very specifically, that internal potency, especially for the bhakti, that is Srimati Radharani. So we were discussing this one other class, that the bhakti shakti is nothing but the potency of the Hladini shakti, or that pleasure potency, or the shakti of Srimati Radharani is the mercy, or the Sandini potency, the potency of Sri Balaram or the Adi Guru, and that the mixture of this potency of the devotee, potency of the spiritual master, or the Balaram, and the potency of Srimati Radharani, when it comes together, their devotees, that is becoming the Bhakti Shakti, or the devotional potency. So devotional potency is there, the mercy of Srimati Radharani is there, the mercy of Sri Balaram is there. Then what happens? One is in the stage of one who elevates to that stage of devotional platform, or that Devim Prakriti, or in the Prakriti of that internal potency, or in the mercy of divine vicinity of Srimati Radharani and the mercy of Sri Balaram. Then the mercy of Sri Balaram, the mercy of Srimati Radharani, then they are in the bhakti and engage in the service of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, we cannot. So this is what it is meant by that bhakti shakti, or that Mahatma. They are always under the protection of the Supreme Lord. Not only that, Srimati Radharani and Sri Balaram. So it is mentioned when the individual jiva, souls are under the control of internal energy, their only engagement is the satisfaction of Krishna or Vishnu. This is the position of Mahatma. So dear devotees, this is called the bhakti. This is what is Srila Goswami referring here. Then if one is not a Mahatma, he is a Duratma, or a crippled-minded person. Such mentally crippled Duratmas are put under the control of Lord external potency, or called Mahamaya. So then sometimes people ask this question, what is this Mahamaya? What is this Maya? Why they are suffering in this world? What is happening? What is causing all this? And see, now the answer is Srila Prabhupada gives. And one person is not in the Mahatma, not in the Devim Prakriti, not in the devotional platform or the spiritual nature. They are under the external nature, external potency of the Lord, that is called the material nature, under the modes of material nature. When one comes to the modes of material nature or three modes of material nature, he is under the spell of Mahamaya or this Bahiranga Shakti. So we know that this Bahiranga Shakti is just an arrangement of the Lord, right? Bahiranga Shakti for the such crippled-minded people. So they go and satisfy their own senses. Mahamaya provides everything. Mahamaya gives everything under the spell of Mahamaya, the potency of Mahamaya. They think that they are enjoying, but they are actually suffering. So that's why they are under the illusion, they are under the ignorance. So they can go from this ignorance to passion, and so many ways the permutation and the combination. That's what is this various living entities in this world. Because of that three modes of material nature, the permutation and the combination of the three modes of material nature, they get the body accordingly. Then they enjoy as well as they suffer. A tree gets the body, and what they do? Yes, they can be in the open air, they can be naked, but at the same time, what happens? They are suffering with the scorching heat and this, this severe weather, right? But on the other hand, a worm in the under the water. But then what happens? Then again, the cold and heat and all this nature's law affect everybody in this world. But the human, those who are intelligent, they are some extent, some degree, they are living their life little better than all the other living entities. So, but this is not that. This is not our permanent thing that a human came to the position of a human. He thinks that, okay, this is what is everything, my body, my everything. So just to satisfy my body and the senses is the mission of my life. So, but he is under the ignorant. He is an ignorant or mudha. So that's why Sri Shankaracharya says that Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihide Kale, Nahi Rakshadi, Dukhrim Karane. And Sri Shankaracharya that, O fool, O mudha, please chant the holy name of Govinda at the time of the none of your education, none of your scholarly, none of that what you have will save you. O fools, please chant the holy name at the time of that nothing will save you. And Shankaracharya further says that, in order to develop this devotional service in such a way that says that Iha samsaram bahudusaram kripaya pare pahi murare. This world, this material ocean is behusdusare, Iha samsaram bahudusaram. In order to overcome is very difficult. One who fall down to this material ocean, the devotees, is very, very difficult to overcome this. Iha samsaram bahudusaram kripaya pare pahi murare. Please chant the holy name of Murari, that Krishna. Only then we can overcome, we can cross over this material ocean. Otherwise, what happens? And we comes through this birth after birth, death, sarvida, charvida, charvanam, cycle of birth and death. Janma bhuvanir, bulogir. As it says, Brahma bhuvanir, look at this earthly, this material world. We go up and down and left and right, east and west, all the directions we go in different forms of body and the life. Then finally, and we get to the human form. Only in the human form of life, we can understand this our transcendental nature. Is nothing is and nothing else is in any other forms of life. It's not possible that what is our eternal nature. Only in this human form of life that we can understand our eternal nature. So Srila Prabhupada says further, indeed, all living entities within this material world are under the control of Mahamaya. See that? Whose business is to subject them to influence the threefold miseries. Adi Devika Klesha, Adhyatmika Kesha, and then Adi Bhaudika Kesha, right? And Deva Bhuda Atma Hetavaha, the conditioned soul subject to these three miseries by the control of external energy, suffer various difficulties. Don't think that this is a beautiful world and then what we have is fine what it is. But no, that is very kripanas. That's a crippled-minded person thinks that. But devotees, one who comes to this understanding, by the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami, the Rupa Goswami is none other than the very close associates of Srimati Radharani, Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari, when one who is very close associates Srimati Radharani, then we can understand that what is the position of Sri Rupa Goswami, that Rupa Manjari. All this transcendental science, all this bhakti, all this love, all this devotion. They are the epitome of all this love and devotion. So they come here to spread this. So that Lord is so merciful, Sri Radharani is so merciful. They come to this world to give that transcendental knowledge to us. Because to make us understand that this is our transcendental nature, nothing else. And that's what is we are belong. We are all belongs to that superior nature of that Krishna. But what the moment we come here, we forget everything. We under the spell of this Mahamaya then influences this material potency and takes us through this various three modes of material nature and suffer in this material world. Heat and cold and distress and the happiness in dualities of this world. But to get out of this, so the mercy of Srimati Radharani through Sri Rupa Goswami is giving us this wonderful transcendental, knowledge. So all we need to do is actually, otherwise we have to suffer this world with three tapa. It's called three tapa, tapatraya. That means it's Adi Bhaudi Klesha, Adhyatmik Klesha, Adi Devi Klesha. We know that what are those. I think many times we explain this. So Srila Prabhupada says, my main problem controlling the conditioned soul is the repetition of birth, old age, disease, and death. In the material world, one has to work for the maintenance of the body and soul. But how can one perform such work in a way that is favorable for the execution of the Krishna consciousness? Everyone requires possessions such as food, grains, clothing, money, and other things necessary for the maintenance of the body. But one should not collect more than necessary for these actual basic needs. If this natural principle is followed, there will be no difficulty to maintaining the body. So Srila Prabhupada is very, very clearly mentioning, dear devotees, that one should not collect more than necessary. So this is called atyahar. This is called atyahar. One should not collect more than necessary for the life. Srila Prabhupada put very simple, that simple living and high thinking. So why we need all this? So we know that the story of Alexander. Alexander conquered the world entirely at the age of 35. He left Alexandria. He left the Alexandria, or from there I think there is another Athens or somebody, it's something like that. He left by the age of 80 from their native place. He was always on the battlefield, conquering the countries after countries. He extended this emperor, that this Alexandria, right? What is that called, emperor? So he conquered almost every other country, and he extended, always on the battlefield, conquering, killing, and everything. The greed of it. So he came back to Athens, and then what happened? 35, at the age of 35, contracted severe diseases. And he completely under the deathbed. He called all his doctors, begged them for, please save my life. Everything that you can take, that what I conquered, what I have. But they said, we cannot save you. We cannot save you. We're going to die. And then Alexander then decided, and he is now convicted, he's in the very much confirmed that he is going to die. So he mentioned that when you make a coffin for me, then please make 2 holes and extend my hands outside to the coffin, and then keep me in this. And all doctors, they should walk in front of this coffin and procession of this funeral. And then they asked why. So Alexander said, even though I conquered this entire world, when I die, I cannot take even a little bit of pin that I have. I'm going with empty-handed. And then why these doctors in front? Yes, I have best doctors in the world there. And everybody should know that they also cannot save us. Nobody can save us. Nothing we can take from this world, dear devotees. But what we do is actually entire our life is spent for this accumulating so many things in the life. So many things in the life. They get 100, they look for 1,000. When they get 1,000, they pray to the Lord, give me 10,000, I'll be so happy. When they get 10,000, they get to give me 1,000,000, I'll be happy. Still, they are not happy in this world. When somebody gets the land, they are happy. They are trying to conquer other people's land. Atyahar, the greed. And what is the results of it? Killing each other. And what is the use of that killing each other? How you are going to enjoy this, whatever, even if you have? You're trying to bomb and kill others and each other. And then what is the use of all this? People are so ignorant like this, dear devotees. This is what is, we have to come to our original consciousness and pure understanding that there is no value for all this, that accumulating so much in our life. We are spending entire life for this. Not only that, our entire life, we are even accumulating for the next 10 generations. That's our nature and attitude. And what is happening that? It says, Anyarthena samjaya, Asha pashastadir bedir kama krodha parayana, Yande kama bhogartham anyayarthena samjayan. Anyayarthena, by illegally killing or non-killing and looting or not looting, by greed and by this lust and all the ways that people are putting themselves to accumulate and looting others and collecting more than what is necessary for, and they don't even get a happiness even in their life. And I was reading in news that article, there is a 54th billionaire of the world, 54th billionaire. He is a business entrepreneur and he was the 54th billionaire in the world, Germany. One day he jumped in front of the train and he committed suicide. We can imagine that a person take that step of committing suicide means how unhappy he is in his life. Everything he has, money, everything, position, fame, everything, power, but he cannot sustain it. He completely, gone away from it. And we can see that in this world. So this is a bhava rog. This is the problem, dear devotees, that the thinking of that I need more than what is necessary in my life, and we endeavor, then what happens? We completely lost our life in this, and we take a birth in another animal kingdom or animal families. What is the use of it? The entire lifetime we are accumulating all this. There was a story which was mentioned that one merchant, he is always thinking of how to accumulate more money and more money. And he was walking to his shop every day. And there was a sadhu sitting there, and he was a great sadhu. The sadhu always tell to this person who was a merchant who was passing every day with the sadhu, say, oh person, and I'm seeing you every day. Why don't you tell me? You're so busy with so many things, and I don't see that you don't even remember, don't even utter the name of the Lord. Oh, merchant, your purpose of this life is to understand that who you are, why we are here, and to understand that where you come from, your eternal nature, where you come from. So at least take out this holy name of Krishna or Rama, you chant this. This merchant said, I don't have any time. I don't have any time for all this. Sadhu, you chant for me. I don't have any time for me. But Sadhu said, no, you have to chant. It's your life. It's not that somebody else chants for you or that you get. No, you chant so that you get benefited. You get that benefit of your some way or other connectivity to that transcendental, eternal, that potency of the Lord. So he was going every day. Sadhu was telling, keep reminding him every day. And he said, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. One day he died. And Sadhu could see that he was a very Trikala Jnani. That this, because of his attachment to his family, because of his attachment to his work, because of attachment to his all kinsmen, he couldn't relieve from his dad. And he became a snake in the same compound of his house. One day the snake, and Sadhu said, when saw that snake, I told you, chant this name, chant this holy name, but you are trying to accumulate more and more, but you lost your life. What is the use of all that? You spend all your life for it. And then this sadhu said, so I told you, one day this snake came to their home to see the children because of that subtle body is there. So then what happened? The children saw that immediately snake, they killed that snake. So then that snake became a rat in that same compound because of the attachment. So this is the way Sadhu said, I told you. So you are now fallen down. Now there is no way that you can. So you have to go through the cycle of birth and death, 8.4 million species of life. But somehow or other you will get, because of, I was keep reminding you, you are at least hearing this Ram, Lakshman, so that you will get some benefit out of it. So dear devotees, the reason I was mentioning this, is that we should develop this wonderful opportunity, that bhakti for the Lord. So we should devoid of all this. There is a lot to speak, atyahara prayasascha, endeavoring, over endeavoring. So we are spending all our life over endeavoring for so many things, collecting. Prajalpa, worldly things, talking unnecessarily, that, this world, that, cricket, World Cup, so many things. And what is the use of it? As it goes away, it gives little flicker of happiness to us. Oh, India wins, Pakistan wins, or Russia, Australia wins, or whatever it is. Or this country, that country, side with that country, this country. What's the use of all this? It's useless. The moment we think Krishna, we are all Vasudeva Kudumbaka, we are all part and eternally part of this Supreme Lord, all the living entities. So we pray for them. We pray for them. That's the compassionate nature of a devotee. The same time, we situate in that very focused, very dedicatedly situate in that Krishna consciousness, dear devotees. This way we can attain Krishna. Prajalpa, Niyamagraha. Some people are so much endeavoring to execute these rules and regulations and too much attached to the rules. Some doesn't do even rules. That's called agraha. Janasangascha, and worldly minded people, and always associate with worldly minded people. Srila says that the society, club, this club, that club, Lions Club, and that were so many out there. And what they do, they just come and drink and worldly prajalpas and so many things. And elderly people, those who are age of 70, 80, they are still have these kinds of clubs, elder clubs, whatever it is. What they do, nothing but just wasting their life. So dear devotees, and janasangascha, laulyam. Laulyam means greed for everything. Even at the time of death, people are so greedy, thinking about themselves. So this all will vinashyadi, will spoil our bhakti. So we should be very careful to keep our bhakti, our devotion every day. So we should check, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, when we get up in the morning, we should beat our mind with the chapal so that we can bring back our mind. We go to bed, before the bed, we should beat our mind with the broom so that all these dirty minds and this, can bring back to that because of the mind is a culprit of all this. So in order to continue, in order to dedicate our mind for this devotion, that we should avoid all this. Otherwise, even if any of this one, atyahara, when we have too much eating, then you can't do anything. You're lie down and you're thinking, and so much of passion and so much of unwanted things comes to us. Similarly, atyahara, prajalpa, what happens? The influence of that, it immediately affects us. But on the other hand, we are in the devotion with the devotees. Then what happens? We develop that bhakti for the Lord. But on the other hand, with this unwanted association in this material world, it spoils our bhakti and takes us to the material world, worldly thoughts and material thoughts, and which brings and comparing that, oh, I am not getting this, I am this, I am that, I am so unhappy and distressed. All this comes to us naturally, and we go away from Krishna, then we miss that all the opportunities of doing service to Krishna. But when we associate with the devotees and alpahara instead of atyahara, then we can maintain our soul and body together. We can have focus on Krishna. We can engage and we can chant the holy name, hear the glories of Krishna. Getting up in the morning, he's chanting and Srimad Bhagavatam, and even in classes of Bhagavad Gita, this spiritual discourse, and here an association of the devotees. So always the mind is with Krishna, and hearing and remembering and engage in the loving devotional service, so that we can situate into that. That's why Krishna is arranging everything. Mahatmanam stu mam bhartam devim pragati. Krishna arranges everything so that devotees can come together and situate and be into that Krishna consciousness, in the bhakti or the devim pragati, under the spiritual potency, or under the potency of Srimati Radharani. So dear devotees, it's a very excellent, wonderful verse that how one can always situate into that Devim Prakriti or in that devotional platform. Right? With that note, I would end here. I think we went a little ahead. But thank you so much for being there. And we pray to the Supreme Lord, please engage us in your service all the time. Hare Krishna. Let's stop here. Yes. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Are you all there? Just wondering, can you unmute? Able to
Yes,
hear me?
Prabhuji, we are here. We are here.
Okay.
We are here, Prabhu Dandat Pranam. Yes, we are here. And wonderful, wonderful class, Prabhuji, as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, this is it's that Srila Rupa Goswami put this together, and Srila Prabhupada, we are all just repeating the words of Srila Prabhupada. And it's very important that what we do every day, and we should check ourselves. We should cultivate this.
I had a quick
Yes.
question. Like,
Please.
I didn't really mean to ask, but I just wanted to respond to what you were asking. So I have, when we say, I should have asked this question a long time back because I've been chanting for a long time. But when we say Hare, right? Hare Krishna. So it's Radha Rani and Krishna, right? That I know. And I know that Rama could be used for Rama, Balramji, or, like Rama. They say like they can use, but basically it is for Balramji, the spiritual master, right? He represents the spiritual master. But when we put the Hare, like we say Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. So Radha Rani is with Krishna. The Hare that we're putting in front of Balram, that's Radha Rani too? Like that is for...
Yes.
Okay.
Hare is, we are addressing to Srimati Radharani. This is
so even if it comes in front of Balramji, it is like this Radharani. For Radha, we are addressing Radharani only.
Of course, yes. We are addressing Radharani. That's the internal potency is mainly.
With the internal potency of Krishna. Yeah. So, but that's what I was a little confused about, that, like when we use it in front of Rama, which is Balramji, is it, like we are addressing Radharani only, right?
Radharani, yes, exactly. That's a Hare. See, Hari is Krishna, right? Hari.
I know, Hare, H-A-R-E is Hare is, yeah.
Hare is Radha.
Yeah. I know that. I knew that Hare is Radharani. I knew the meaning, but I was like lately thinking, I said when we say Hare Krishna and she's the internal potency of Lord Krishna, then her name is coming in front of Balarama too, so is it Radharani only or somebody else? It was just a thought that came to my mind. So I said, let me just clarify it.
Yeah, we say Radha, Krishna, Lakshmi, Narayana, Parvati, Parameshwara.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
We always put the feminine aspect. That's called Shakti. That is part of the Shaktiman. So likes that. Radha is part of Krishna. So we put Radharani in the first. That's a Hare Krishna. That is Radha Krishna. But it says that Acharya has mentioned that we are not supposed to utter the name Radha like that, right? Because of we are not. Such Acharya gives us this opportunity that instead of saying Radha directly, we say Hare. So even Sri Sukadeva Goswami does not even utter the word Radha. Sukadeva Goswami says Aradhika, Aradhana, right? That not even even though Sukadeva Goswami was the parrot of Sukha, the parrot of Srimati Radharani, the moment Sukadeva Goswami then remember or use the word, then Sukadeva Goswami then would not speak further, would go in trance, go in ecstasy. So even Sukadeva Goswami didn't even speak that. So, but we are, and that's why Jayadeva Goswami Maharaj, Jayadeva Maharaj always wants us. Whenever anybody say Radha, then this Maharaj says, no, we should not say that. Maharaj, many people go and touch their feet in the Radha Kund. And many devotees, many senior Vaishnavas, we should not do that because of...
They don't do it. Yes, I heard that lately from Guru Maharaj's lecture.
Yes.
That they don't do it. Yeah. Janardhan Maharaj mentioned that. He said, when Gopal Krishna Maharaj goes there, he doesn't put his feet. They just take some and sprinkle on their body. Yeah. Yes.
So they
out of
go and worship
respect.
with their mind from the land, from the bank there, and then worship Srimati Radharani in prayer. This is the highest of devotion. It's not that we enter and this is the highest.
No, my confusion was कि I'll say in Hindi कि बलराम जी के आगे राधा का नाम, like I just wanted to clarify.
कोई problem नहीं. Balram ji also pleases that.
As expansion Krishna.
Krishna's, yeah. Krishna and Balram, no difference.
Not difference, yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Wonderful. Nice question.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? So what will, I think the essence of this verse is that, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned the first few paragraphs, and you can also read the rest of it so that we understand it. So the essence of this verse is nothing but that one should always situate in the pure devotional platform. And then one should avoid all this. And then very simple living and high thinking. And we should not endeavor so much into this life so that it can all spoil our bhakti, Vajalpa and worldly minded people, and talking so much of this nonsense of this material world, politics, and this guy goes there, this leader goes there, this, so many things we talk about. Yes, it's good to okay, fine. But does it help me for my spiritual progress? I'm here for in this world as a human. That's why it's very rare also, dear devotees. But if you have that opportunity to understand, then we should situate in that platform, eternal. So don't miss this life to again take birth again into the different forms. But as we say that we are ready cash today, yesterday is a cancelled check. No value. Tomorrow is a promissory note. There is no guarantee that in the future, but today that we have is a ready cash. So we can utilize, and we should utilize properly. So similarly, we should utilize this human form of life to come to that stage of pure devotional platform with understanding all this. That is very important. What to do, that's it is called instructions. So we should follow strictly all these instructions. So this is for our benefit so that we can elevate ourselves to that spiritual platform. Okay. Wonderful. Anything else? Anybody else? Otherwise, let's conclude today's class. Hare Krishna. Sipurari Premadas, is that Hare Krishna, Prabhuji? Then do it pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dhanana Prabhu.
Krishna, then do it pranam. All good, Srila Prabhupada. Seems like I'm seeing you first time, or is it true?
No. I've been coming to classes the last couple of weeks.
Oh.
I live in northern New York. I try to make it to the temple when I can.
Wonderful.
But not so much.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. So we'll continue. We'll conclude today's class. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Let's wait together. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Upadeshamrita ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Shri Rupa
Jai.
Goswami Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.